So here we go, leg 7. A lot of fog and a lot of pots at the start of the race. You see one's just about to come behind us there. This is in sight, rarely in sight. Although we're close to the boats, we're rarely in sight of them because there's so much fog. Puma just there and Jules coming out and telling what's going on. A lot of moisture in the air in this. I'm trying to see waves of it coming through, but just got soaked through just with all the fog around the place. For days, foggy.
A weed problem with our keel, and it's been on there for about a day and it won't come off, so we're going to try and smack it off with a weed stick.
So as Phil just said, going over to try and get this. We think it was a fish skin that was on there. Dave looking to drop him in the water there as well, give it a good thwacks, but we got part of it off, but not enough. You can see it there halfway down the fin. The water's pretty cold at this stage as well, but that's the stick we use to get the weed off the keel. And this is a bit later in the race where we actually had to do this. It's probably about 8 hours later.
Ease on, but then leave it back down, okay?
So into the back down. Move, you actually do quite a lot while you're out there. We turn this into attack at the same time.
Here's the jib.
So you obviously get the boat going from 10 knots down to 0, and then backwards. We're probably going about a knot and a half backwards as we do this. Trying to... Here we go. Back the jib, and then to pull the bow down, and then complete the tack. That's just the sign of the water coming from underneath the boat. It's still foggy, as you can see, but the sun's starting to break through now.
I just did a back down. In America's Cup you use that on the start to park your boat and then go backwards if you need. Here we used to clean the foils. It went very quick, I think. During the attack you lose less, even more. Good timing to do it. We should have done it before though.
And then a bit of stacking inside the boat. Every time we tackle jibe this happens, or if the breeze gets lighter or heavier we move it forward and back. There's the oil skins moving across. Because they're quite a bit of weight when they're wet, as you can imagine. Stacking outside as well at the same time. You see all the hatch. And there's obviously a lot more stuff to do outside than inside. Starting to see a high cloud line. There's a mark from the lobster pots we hit a couple of days beforehand. Have just burnt a big hole, big chunk out the front of the boards there, so give them a little repair. And there's just like a bit of a 2-part epoxy to go in there. It was the first opportunity we had to repair them at this stage. That would cause quite a lot of drag while you're sailing along. And there's us. There's the leader there. That's Telly Black, who we're chasing down. Took us a few hours to do, but managed to get him. We're just using a bit of peel ply there to make a nice fair finish. You still got to sand it, but you get off as much off as you possibly can while it cures. Bit of tape to keep the peel ply on, and there you go. That's pretty much the curing job. Saw a couple of ships out there. Most of the time we didn't because it was too foggy, but this was just one. Randomly see, didn't look the safest ship on all the water, but quite a few of them aren't. Some rusty old bucket. And that's Telly Black just after backing down as well, probably for a bit of weed or a turtle or something on the back of him. But we luckily we were in quite good shape at this stage. Managed to go past them pretty quick. This is in the space of about 3 hours, these shots.
Come on.
Just enjoying giving the commands there.
Oh.
Shoot trim. And then this is when the breeze, the low pressure came in, and it got pretty nasty. We probably went for a little bit too much breeze. Lots of kind of days of this. We had a couple of days worth. Everyone getting bashed around quite heavily. Quite cold.
Everything's very wet.
As Ryan said, everything's very wet there. It's very hard to do anything down below. You can see how much the hats and everything's moving, and the oil skins just kind of shows how much the boat's moving around. Torben doing a bit of bailing, probably getting more of the bucket inside the boat than outside the boat, but it's something you're constantly doing. Not much room downstairs, and it's quite hard, as you see, to get all this gear on. Doesn't look quite as tame now, but it's pretty vicious bouncing around. Hard to get into those survival suits. But you kind of needed them, the amount of water that was coming over the boat. Just litres and litres, or hundreds of thousands of litres over the boat. Just constantly getting a pounding. This much seawater over the deck also can't start washing the grease out the winches and stuff, so you have to be careful with your maintenance. So much water going over the boat. But still quite fast, just hard work. I don't think anyone really enjoyed it that much. As exciting as it looks when you're sat home in your sofa, when you just go on this for days, you get pretty tired of it. Quite a few big waves out there as well. That's what was curtling us along at speeds just up to around 40 knots. All the boys waiting to go forward, ready for a jib change. Kind of medium seaway there by the look of it. Dave's showing that safety is very important. Making sure you stay clipped on. And this is us approaching the finish with one of the biggest welcomes we've seen, certainly. That was that. It was well earned victory by the boys, and it was certainly a wonderful reception in Galway.